80s, he was the king of comedy, the life of every party. Today, he's a Hollywood enigma, a man who seemed to walk away from it all, only to become more famous than ever. This is the 42-year story of how Bill Murray went from being a star to being a legend. Section 1. The Rise, 1984-1993. The Accidental Superstar. The year 1984 was a moment that perfectly captured the two sides of Bill Murray's creative life. That year, he starred in Ghostbusters, a film that wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural atom bomb. It became the highest-grossing comedy of its time and cemented Murray as the face of sarcastic, anti-authority cool. But for Murray, the blockbuster was just a means to an end. He'd agreed to play Dr. Peter Venkman, a role originally written for his late friend John Belushi, mainly to get the studio to fund a passion project. A serious adaptation of the novel The Razor's Edge, which he co-wrote and starred in. Both movies came out the same year, but their fates couldn't have been more different. The Razor's Edge flopped, while Ghostbusters launched a franchise that's still going today. This clash between commercial hits and artistic fulfillment would become a pattern in his career. For the rest of the decade, he leaned into his comedy stardom, building on the persona he'd perfected since his Emmy-winning days on Saturday Night Live. Films like Scrooged and What About Bob made him a box-office giant, showcasing a guy who could mix frantic energy with a signature world-weary charm that audiences just loved. He was the ultimate smart aleck you always wanted at the party, but even at his most famous, there were hints that Murray was looking for more than just laughs. He'd followed up his breakout role in the comedy Meatballs with a dramatic turn as Hunter S. Thompson in Where the Buffalo Roam. By the early 90s, he was one of the world's most bankable comedy stars. But that conflict he'd felt back in 1984, art versus commerce, passion versus paycheck, was about to push him toward a decision that would change everything. Section 2. The Turning Point, 1993-2003. The Disappearing Act. After a string of massive successes, something inside Bill Murray started to change. The turning point was 1993's Groundhog Day. On the surface, it looked like another classic Bill Murray comedy. A cynical weatherman gets stuck repeating the same day over and over. But the film became something so much deeper, a moving, philosophical story about life, love, and what it all means. It was his masterpiece, perfectly blending his comedic genius with the dramatic depth he'd been searching for. The shoot was also notoriously tough, creating a rift between him and his longtime friend, director Harold Ramis, that lasted for decades. And then, after this huge success, Bill Murray did the unthinkable. He vanished. Fed up with the Hollywood machine and the pressures of being a superstar, he took a 4-year break from acting. He moved his family to Paris, where he took classes at the Sorbonne, studying philosophy and history. He basically just walked away from it all. When he finally decided to come back, it was completely on his own terms. He fired his agent and set up a 1-800 number with a voicemail. A now legendary system where directors had to leave a pitch and just hope that Bill Murray might one day call back. He had taken back control, transforming from an A-list movie star into an elusive, almost mythical figure. His return to movies was quiet and careful. It started in 1998 with a supporting role in a quirky indie film called Rushmore, from a young, little-known director named Wes Anderson. Playing the sad millionaire Herman Bloom, Murray gave a performance that was funny, heartbreaking, and deeply human. It was a role that pointed to a new chapter, a move away from the mainstream and toward a more personal style of filmmaking. The party-crashing hero of the 80s was gone, replaced by the quiet godfather of indie cinema. Section 3. The Reinvention, 2003-2015, the indie darling. The new millennium cemented Bill Murray's reinvention. In 2003, he starred in Sofia Coppola's Lost in Translation, the film that would define the second half of his career. He played Bob Harris, an aging movie star adrift and jet-lagged in Tokyo, a role that seemed to mirror his own feelings about fame. His performance was a masterclass in quiet, subtle acting, earning him a Golden Globe, a BAFTA, and an Academy Award nomination. Even though he didn't win the Oscar, he'd won something bigger. Total validation as one of the great dramatic actors of his generation. This era was all about his collaborations with a new wave of visionary directors. His partnership with Wes Anderson became a career highlight, with unforgettable roles in films like The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Moonrise Kingdom, and The Grand Budapest Hotel. He seemed to find a creative home in Anderson's beautifully detailed, whimsical worlds, which were a perfect match for his deadpan delivery and hidden emotional depth. But even during this period of critical acclaim, he kept everyone guessing. He voiced the animated Cat Garfield in 2 films, in 2004 and 2006. Then, more successfully, he voiced the carefree bear Baloo in Disney's 2016 remake of The Jungle Book, a performance praised for its wry, laid-back charm. From Oscar-nominated dramas to blockbuster voice roles, Murray showed he could do anything. But the most interesting character he was building was the one he played in real life. The man who was once a movie star was now becoming a folk hero. Section 4. The Enigma, 2016-2026. The Myth and the Man. In the last decade, the legend of Bill Murray has blossomed into a modern myth. The Bill Murray stories have become an internet sensation. He's been known to crash kickball games, photobomb a couple's wedding pictures, tend bar at music festivals, and even wash the dishes at a student party in Scotland. He reads poetry to construction workers and sings "Happy Birthday" to 94-year-old fans. Professionally, he started to look back at his own past. After years of saying no, he finally returned to the Ghostbusters universe, first with a cameo in the 2016 reboot. He then fully reprised his role as Peter Venkman in 2021's Ghostbusters, Afterlife, and again in 2024's Ghostbusters. Frozen Empire, reuniting with the original cast and passing the torch to a new generation. But this enigmatic image has also faced a modern reckoning. In April 2022, production on the film Being Mortal was shut down after a complaint about Murray's on-set behavior. Reports described an incident where Murray did something he thought was a joke, but which a female staff member found horrifying and entirely sexual. Murray later addressed it, saying, "I did something I thought was funny, and it wasn't taken that way. The world's different than it was when I was a little kid." The event added a complicated, darker layer to his unpredictable persona. In the 2024 film The Friend, he starred alongside Naomi Watts as a mentor figure who is himself accused of misconduct.
I want to tell
He
him
also
that no
continues
matter
to work
how
with
much
Wes
I
Anderson
sleep,
with their
I'm
next film,
exhausted.
The Phoenician Scheme,
But I feel as though
on the
I'm...
horizon. As we look toward 2026, Bill Murray remains a vital, if complicated, force in cinema. What's your favorite Bill Murray moment, on or off screen? Let us know in the comments below. And for more stories about your favorite stars, don't forget to subscribe.